So far, so good. I've gotten 3 repeats done. And I want you to notice in this section of brioche, we knitted the light blue and purled with the purple. In this section, we knitted with the purple and purled with the light blue. You can see how different they are. And also notice on the inside, it's just the opposite. This is really fun to make hats with this stitch. There are 2 colors. I've done high school colors for fans, football fans, and so forth. And they're really unique. Anyway, so our instructions are to finish the 3 repeats, which we have done. Okay, and then knit 1 more row. Okay, the next thing we're supposed to do, okay, after knitting 1 more row, okay, is to begin a decrease. And that would be right in here. Okay, there's several ways to make a decrease. You can knit 2 together, you can slip, knit, you can knit 1 and pass a stitch over it, or you can slip 1, knit 1 and pass the stitch over. It goes on and on and on. But the easiest one for me to do on this hat is the slip, knit. Let me show you how to do that. It makes the neatest for this hat. Now, if you're right-handed, it will be exactly backwards. But on this one, it's going to lean to the right and give us a little, well, not exactly a swirl at the top, but it will lean to the right. And I like it because it makes a much neater stitch. Let me show you how to do it. Okay, you have to know where the legs of your stitches are. If you look at this stitch, if I just knitted 2 together like this, I would twist them. If I knitted them 2 together like this, it's a little uncomfortable and the stitches don't lay real nice. So I'm going to slip the first one as if to knit, slip the second one as if to knit, put them back on, and I'm changing back to my green because I'm going to do the top in green, and knit those 2 together. Simple. Slip 1, slip 2, put them back on, knit. Slip 1, slip 2, put them back on the original needle. 1, 2. This is just the easiest one for me. You can use another method of decreasing, and basically you're supposed to knit 2 together all the way around. And I don't really think it matters how you knit them together. What we're doing is reducing our 72 stitches to 36 stitches. Okay, now, the pattern says to knit 3 more rounds as soon as we finish the knit 2 together round. So we're going to knit 3 rounds, and I'll be right back. I have finished the last 3 rounds, and our instructions are to knit 2 together all the way around. Well, with 36 stitches on my needle, it's kind of tight. So let me show you how I knit those together all the way around. Okay, there's the first one. And each one is going to get a little bit tighter. We'll end up with 18 stitches on our needles. Okay. See what I did? I pulled my needle loose to make my stitches smaller there. Well, the loop smaller. I'm going to pick this up. This. Knit 2 together. Then I'm going to pull it real tight to tighten that up. And I've got room now to do a couple more. I'm going to pull it through again. Keep them coming around. I only have to go to here. Gonna pull the slip, slip, and then I'm going to knit the 2 together. Tighten it. Almost there. Pull it up snug. Tighten it. It's got a couple more. We're back to where we started. Now, we need to cut us. Don't be stingy here. You're going to have to run this through and you're going to have to knot it. I don't need this anymore. But what we do need is a needle. We need a needle that we can thread our yarn through, but we want one with a sharp point, because what we need to do is when we weave these in, we need to split the yarns as we weave the ends in. Let me show you an easy way to thread yarn. Big one, squeeze it, and just push it through. I know some, oops, didn't quite get it. Let me try that again. Twist it tight. There we go. All right, you want to knit these off on your needle. Don't use the sharp point, use the blunt end. Just basically knit them off. Slip them as if to knit, not knit them off, but slip them as if to knit. Those are off. Don't pull it tight yet. There we go. Now what we want to do is we want to draw these stitches up tight. I mean really tight. We're going to close that hole up there at the top and make that pretty ruffle that's part of the CC beanie. Okay. Now we're going to switch to the tip that's pointy, and we're going to thread through. We're just trying to get those stitches one more time. We're going to keep pulling. Get that out of the way. We want to try to go around again here, just as added protection. Now, this thing's probably going to go in the laundry, and maybe the washer, tumble it dry. I have no idea. Oops, we lost our yarn. Give it a good twist and basically force it through like that. Go around at least one more time, maybe 1.5. Okay. Keep pulling it tight. We've closed up the hole completely now. Then just push it through. Flip it inside out. Now what I do is kind of tie a knot. I'll go like this and I'll come up like that and basically tie a knot. And I will go back through that yarn. Okay, hold it really well. I don't think anybody's ever had one of my hats come apart. Now we're going to hide the rest of this tail, and we're just going to slip it in and out between some of those stitches. If this comes out, it's not a big deal, but you really don't want it to. So hide it well. Take your scissors and clip it off. Now we have some tails to work in. Lots and lots and lots of tails. Look at them. Ooh, all over the place. Last two we've got is where we started our green. Normally all I do with these is I just tie a nice little tidy square knot, not too tight, not too loose. Make it tight though. Now, because this is a multicolored hat, I want to weave these ends into the color that it is. I don't want the green in the purple. So I'm just going to weave it, splitting those yarn, trying to get inside of it. Do it, through a few stitches. You don't have to go forever. There we go. Now what you want to do is when you pull those snug up, you want to check and make sure that your stitches are fine. Now what we could do is we could work this down and tie it off with its mate, and I think that's what we'll do. Just very carefully lay that along that white line. Bring it down. Tying off is basically whatever you want to do. You want to make sure that your tails are all secure. Normally this hat would have a beginning tail and an ending tail. But because we chose to do lots of different colors, it will makes it kind of problematic when it comes to all of these tails. Anyway, that one's done. Cut it off. Our last one is the beginning, and normally I just kind of tie it off and tuck it under the into the brim. Okay, just come up here and pull it up a little bit. And just run it into the brim. It'll stay inside. Disappeared. Okay, let's see what the inside of our hat looks like. That's the inside. And here's the outside. Quite an interesting hat. Looks just like this one. This one was done with 80 stitches on a slightly smaller needle. So it looks a little different. A little bit different sizing. This is probably big enough for a small to medium adult or a large child. When it's on, it stretches like that and is really quite pretty. Anyway, we got a lot of interesting colors going on. Not too sure who's going to get this one. We'll wait and find out. Got a little coffee on it, it looks like. So, anyway, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm a lefty, and there's hardly anything on YouTube with instructions for lefties. And I like to knit. I'm stuck inside for I don't know how long. None of us know how long. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.